要睇個人對你好唔好，唔係睇佢真唔真心，而係睇佢有幾咁擔心你。你行快啲得唔得啊？
得，唉，喂，我都唔趕時間。
Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Ronald Reagan, and this is my review of Happiness. I was lucky enough, thanks to someone who'd probably rather remain anonymous, to attend the premiere of Happiness in Chimsachoy. I'm sorry that I didn't share any photos from the premiere, but I was busy with other obligations. I wish that was a euphemism, but it's not. Besides, I enjoyed those obligations, and I enjoyed Happiness, which I was not expecting. A movie about a woman slowly deteriorating from an incurable disease isn't really what I would consider a laugh riot, unless that woman is and it's a documentary. But never mind that cruel ugliness. Happiness tells the story of a young man with a very bad temper, played by Carlos Chancaló. He can't seem to hold on to a job, a girlfriend, or a place to live. He ends up making the acquaintance of an older woman, played by Kara Hui, or Wai Yinghong, who's forgetful. He meets other people too, but I don't want to tell you too much about them because that would tell you too much about the story, and I don't want to do that. If you want to know the story, go watch the movie. Happiness is very much a character study, and it was really nice being given an opportunity to get to know these characters. Louis Chung appears, and perhaps unsurprisingly, frequently steals scenes. There's a scene that he does by himself that adds nothing to the narrative or movement of the story, but I really like the way it kind of celebrated regular people. I hope that makes sense. There are some other familiar faces in Happiness, and some new ones. One thing I liked about Happiness is that there are familiar faces, but there are no stars. It's just not that kind of movie, and I really appreciated it. But then I appreciated a lot about Happiness. It looks really nice. It's a small movie that looks big. Most of the time the camera is tightly focused on people, but sometimes there's a big panorama type shot. Unlike, say, Cold War II, Happiness uses these juxtapositions effectively. Happiness also treats Alzheimer's disease with a lot more care, detail, and humanity than some other movies that use it simply as a crass plot device to jerk more tears out of their audience. Stolen years! The only crass thing this film does is to temper the central story with a couple of subplots that some purists might find extraneous. Some of these subplots add to the film, but others don't, and it might be easy to say, well, they shouldn't be there. But I would disagree. Because the central plot is inherently an unhappy one, these other plots tend to diffuse the tension and/or potential misery. I'm not saying Happiness is miserable. I'm just saying that movies about Alzheimer's disease are, and should be, no laughing matter. Except yours, right, Babs? But at the same time, if they never come up for air, some movies can fall into what I might inelegantly call the Anne Hui trap. Don't get me wrong, Anne Hui makes movies that are damn near perfect on all levels, except commercially. Her movies should be seen by everyone, because they're good for you, and they're not easy to sit through. Like a colonoscopy. Sorry. So in the case of Happiness, I'm willing to have these sort of mainstream distractions if it means that more people will watch a movie with a very pertinent message. Dementia, or Alzheimer's disease, is not widely accepted and certainly not widely discussed in Chinese culture. It's considered a normal part of people getting old, and almost no one wants to talk about it for fear of losing the family face. It's not curable, but it is treatable, and so, like I said, if Happiness's more commercial aspects help the film to be more widely seen, and it therefore contributes to the discussion about dementia, I'm extremely happy. One more thing that I liked about Happiness is the way that it manages to avoid a lot of the genre cliches that this kind of movie usually has. Its main plot and the people that are in it are honest and human and very real. It's really refreshing to watch people acting in a movie and working hard at it, but at the same time not mugging for Best Actor. I'll give the credit to that to the director, Andy Lau Yufai. He's written, or helped write, a couple dozen local films, and he directed a segment of 2013's hardcore comedy. And now he's written and directed one of 2016's most interesting films. Happiness isn't perfect, but it is very impressive. I can strongly recommend Happiness because it's different, it's very well made, and it manages, quite uniquely, to be both entertaining and thought-provoking. I wish there were a lot more movies like this, and so does my cardiologist. Now, if you want to watch Happiness, go see it in a cinema. Like I said, the kind of big shots that they have look really nice on a big screen, plus you can support local film. If you don't get a chance to see it in the cinema, wait until you could somehow pay money to watch it in another format. In other words, don't steal this movie! When it gets released to home video, I'll update the description with a link where you could buy a copy of a DVD or a Blu-ray. If you enjoyed my review, please leave me a comment. If you didn't, leave me a comment. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. I felt really lucky. I got to speak to Kara Hui briefly after the film and tell her what a great job she did. Unfortunately, I didn't get a picture. Damn it.